in today's video, like I already indicated in the description below, we're going to talk about how to identify mentors in your workplace before you get screwed. Yeah, you need a mentor before you get screwed in the corporate world because it is brutal. It's nothing like, it's not like social media where you have your own space and you're just messing around in a nice way. You're in your own world. You don't know anybody. Just do your thing. You get your money and that's it. No. In the corporate world, it is highly competitive. And especially for women, if you don't know your left from your right, you're going to be messed up big time. So I'm going to teach you some tips or just help you identify who can be your mentor. And like I said in my previous video, well, just in case you haven't watched that yet, I'll put it up here somewhere. Just make time to watch the part 1, part 2. This is the final part. So at the end of this video, you will know why I said, always be your boss who would have to mentor you. I'll tell you why. Let's get right into the video. So before I continue, do you have any unique story you want to share with us on mentorship? How you met your mentor and how they have impacted your life? If you have that story to share, then just put it in the comment section. I would love to read those stories. I like those inspiring stories. It will help someone else. You never know. So I'll tell you 2 stories. One with a mentor and the other with a virtual mentor. So the first one, guys, is from the story my boss told me about how he started. Okay. So he says, look, I came with nothing. Basically, it was just my bag, my luggage. I came from a small town. Came to Accra to join this new company. One way or the other, I was brought to this boss, his boss there. I was a teacher before I came to the insurance industry. I just love teaching. But I came to this company, met my boss, and he was telling me, look, you have to put the teaching aside. Focus on insurance. And he's like, no, I'm not really interested in insurance. I just want to get my daily wage and then. So I know. Go to school, go and better yourself, become a professional in the industry. And let's see how far we can go. Initially, he didn't budge. But then slowly, this man taught him everything he needed to know about underwriting, sales, marketing, whatever it was. Taught him little by little. And to cut long story short, today, he has not only headed a branch, he's a chartered insurer. Not only that, he has other qualifications. He's an ARM, a CPC. Sometimes I even get confused, but the point here is that he got a good mentor. This is one man from one man to another man who nurtured him to this point to be able to climb the corporate ladder. And today he's receiving awards, different kinds of awards. So that is one story. And that is how it usually is with mentorship, right? And then there's a second story, which is my story. So, like I was telling you the last time, I never really had a mentor who would sit me down or who would tell me, Lisa, do it this way or do it that way. I would like to call it a virtual mentor because I would observe you. I chose mentors on my own terms because mostly it may be, or usually it would be a female mentor. It would be a female leader I would like to train under, but I didn't have the capacity or I didn't have the confidence to go to the person to tell them, hey, can you mentor me? Because obviously they have certain behaviors or they have certain character traits that would just not match my energy. But there were certain aspects of them that I liked, or certain aspects of their leadership or whatever it is about them that I liked. But I didn't think we would make a good team if it made sense. I just didn't think we'll make a good team. So I would observe you from outside, learn a thing or two from you, and see how I can put my own skills and stuff together and then become a great person. Oh, yeah, I think I'm on my way to being great. Yeah, so that is my story. I never really had anybody, any leader, no, to mentor me. I don't think anybody can come out and say, I mentored this girl. No, everyone had a role they played in my life. Yes, everyone had a role they played in my life. But I kind of observed, I think even in my workplace, I have about 3 mentors. One is a lawyer, the other is an MD of a company, and the other person, the third female person is, or the third female mentor is a manager who's very good at, getting big businesses, breaking records, just fierce marketer. And I love that about her. But I've never really opened my mouth to say, hey, can you mentor me? I like your skills. Can you teach me this? No, I observe you and I ask questions and I'll take notes. I observe the MD from afar. I like the way she runs her company. I like what I'm seeing. I take notes. I like the lawyer. I like her confidence. I like the way she's intelligent. She speaks well. She dresses well. She has contacts. Just everything about that was so nice to me. And so that is how I have been growing. So listen, if you want to choose a mentor, the first thing you do is to write down your goals. I told you in the previous video that you have to scout. So as you've laid low and you've entered a company, you're scouting through, you're just observing things, you're learning things, you're identifying the key people, who knows what, who has what, who has power where does whose power reach. You've been able to identify all of these things. You've lived with them, not lived. How do you say you've lived? You've worked with them. You've worked with them for at least for some months. So you know how each person likes their things to be done. If you can work well with this person or you cannot work well with this person. You would have identified all of these things. Remember to lay low. It doesn't see. I saw this video. This is just a commenting person. I saw this video on TikTok of a lady complaining about how she's having issues with her work colleagues or her senior work colleagues because of her dressing and all of that. And I laughed. I found it very amusing because I went through the same thing, but I didn't have this understanding until I became a little matured. You get it? But you have to lay low. See, you're there to learn, and these are the people who know the stuff you want to learn. It's fine if you go to work and you're all dressed up and you look good and all of that. There's nothing wrong with that. But there's something called corporate culture or work culture. Wherever you find yourself at, Bank of Ghana, any government agency, private entity, whatever it is, wherever you find yourself at, you have to identify the work culture. Like culture, we know the way of life of the people and stuff like that. Yes, you have to identify how they do things in there. How do these people dress? How do they eat? How do they talk? How do they run things over there? Until you've learned something or until you've figured that out, you have to lay low. You may go to, say, Bank of Ghana and the way you dress will not be a problem. But when you go to a government institution, maybe a district assembly, for, I don't know, maybe, maybe, I don't know if that's the right example to give, but I'm hoping. Say if you're working with a district assembly and you know how much salary they probably take, right? You don't go dressing more than the staff there. See, whether you like it or not, they will be intimidated. It's a fact, I'm telling you. If you go there wearing heels, you're all dressed up, see, you have a nice car. Now, who would teach you what you need to know? They'll be afraid of you. They'll even be afraid to send you. Meanwhile, you're there to learn. Not that you want to stay there, but see, you have to You have to tone down if you're really serious about learning anything. Okay? You have to tone down because unfortunately, that is what it is. I was working with one company and they were not dressing much. And that was my problem there. I unknowingly brought a problem onto myself, if that makes sense. Because I was apparently dressing too much for the job. And I thought it was just me. Like, I threw on a top and a jeans or whatever it was, and I would have overdressed it. Every little thing you put on, you seem overdressed. So they were scared to send me. They were just gossiping about me. I became a threat. They wanted me to leave. But that's just how it is. So please, like I said, it's just a tip. Get the job first. If you think that is a place you want to stay for a longer time, get the job first. Finish your probation, let them employ you, and then look, nobody can do anything to you. When you go to work and you start dressing like, hey, nobody can say anything. At least you've secured the job already. But where you just started, even if you have a car, park far away. If it's BOG, nobody cares. You see? So if you went to BOG or you were with some oil firm and they like to dress up and you went there without dressing, that one, you will even be questioned. I mean, you will feel left out. But where you go to, like the government agency I was talking about, and you overly dress, you need to know that it may be difficult to even secure the job because maybe the secretary there or the HR there doesn't dress like that. And you don't want your HR to be hating on you the first time they see you. You don't want your HR to be thinking you're intimidating. Who is going to employ you? It's the same HR who is going to employ you. That way you draw the attention from your work, from your skill. You draw attention from that to your dressing. How would they even know you're a nice person? How would they know that you're a hardworking person? How would they know? So, please, just tone down on it. That is just the behavior of Ghanaians. And unfortunately for you, you don't have your own company. If you do, that is fine. But if you don't, and you want to secure that job, you pretend, right? Just tone down first and get a job. And then you can go ahead and do whatever you want to do. Or not whatever you want to do, but you can dress up. So, like I was saying, you have to have a plan. You have to have a goal. Okay? You go to the workplace, you know that, okay, this is what I want to do. Say it's an insurance company. They want to be managing a branch. You want to, just secure the market. You want to be earning this amount of salary. You want to build your contact because, mind you, see, sales work is all about contacts. You're going to be well connected. That's also depending on the businesses you're bringing in. But you have to start from somewhere. Humble beginnings, right? So you have to have a plan. When I went in, I gave myself 5 years to chatter. And after chattering, I'm giving myself 5 years to get to a certain level. I'm not going to say this yet because not now. Yeah, we're in Ghana, not now. I'm just giving myself 5 years to reach a certain level. So even this I'm doing is all part of the plan. It's all part of the plan. So you should have your goals well laid out. I see too many young people coming from school and that's it. Like, they don't really have any goals. Of course, they just want to earn something, When you get your first salary, you start making some money and all of that. I mean, that is all they think about, really. Nothing special. But when you come in like that and you think that you know somebody and you're dating the big man or you're dating someone there, and nah, it doesn't work like that because there are systems in place, remember. Systems that run the company even in the absence of the so-called big man. And how long are you going to sell yourself, especially to the ladies? How long will you sell yourself to your boss? It gets to a point where you get tired because it's going to be so obvious. Everybody will know that this man is sleeping with you. It's either you who are sleeping with him or he's sleeping with you. It's going to be so obvious. They cannot do anything about it. most of you are driven by money. So when you start earning money, you see that no, all those send me news, do this for me, do that for me. See, it's all work. But when you're a busy person, yeah, they say the devil finds work for the idle heart. When you find work to do, when you start working, you have targets to meet, you have meetings to attend, you have this to do, you have that to do. You get tired. And on top of it all, you start earning money. So why do you even need him? Hmm? Why do you need him? And for women, climbing the corporate ladder is difficult. It is very difficult. You have men who would tell you, no, they don't like to work with women. Because, really because they know that they can't stand women. That's not the point, no. They don't like to work with women because they'll say you have, you're too emotional. That's not just that. If that were even just it wouldn't have been a problem, right? They'll tell you, oh, she's going to get pregnant. She'll have to go on maternity leave for 3 months. She'll come back, she's closing earlier than the time she's supposed to be closing. It means that if it's a target driven job or whatever it is, you can't. So for about a whole year, no, the moment a woman gives birth, her life changes. So the child is getting sick, she has to go to hospital, maternity, weighing, whatever it is. So for women, it's a tough world. Unless you are intelligent, or unless you're bringing something unique to the table, you cannot just rely on your body or some connection you have or because you're sleeping with your boss. When the pressure starts coming from above, it's going to get to you. So if you're bringing something to the table, it has to be something that is unique. I hope I'm making sense. So then, two, you find one that you have shared values with. You have to find one who has integrity, right? Because a lot of people are doing things, see, people are doing things. It's not only with the banks. With most companies, people are just doing things to meet targets. I don't know what's the word, this target driven stuff. Please, a lot of people are doing things. So if you're a Christian, you don't want to deviate from your Christian faith. You want someone who is going to give you sound advice. Sound advice. So you want someone you can have shared values with. If you're a Christian paired with another religion and you're okay with it, that is fine because, hey, someone from other religion can be fine too. I mean, depending on what you're learning from them. Okay? But if it's someone who doesn't have any integrity, someone who does not have a good name, that will be a problem because when you associate yourself with such a person, it's going to rub off on you. People will immediately think that you're like that. So imagine you go and befriend someone who is a promiscuous person. People will think you're promiscuous too. I mean, you don't want that. You don't want to have a bad name for yourself before you even start. Okay, so you have to pick one with integrity, someone with, very good moral values and all of that. All of those nice things. You find one with you can have shared values with. So number three, you find one who is available and can listen. Okay? You have to find one who is available because see, if the person mentoring you is a CEO, a COO, a general manager, all those things, usually they don't have time and it's not their fault. They probably just don't have time for it. Okay, so you have to find one who is available. So CEO would have someone at their level they want to mentor. CEO can probably mentor like someone close to them, but if you're not close to them, maybe you don't work directly under them, it may be difficult for them to even make time to correct you on things or, just guide you in what you're doing. But say you have a senior colleague who is good at something and you want to learn that from them, I mean, it's not a bad idea because they will be easily available or they'll be readily available to you. And make sure they listen, make sure they're able to make time and listen to you. what your needs are and see how best they can help you. So number 4, you have to find someone, you can trust. In the corporate world, in many jobs, it is highly competitive, like I said. See, it's a marathon in there. Yeah? It can be crazy. You trust someone today, tomorrow they are betraying you. You trust someone today, tomorrow, when there's a problem, they don't mind throw you under the bus, because at the end of the day, we are all looking for something to eat. You don't want to spoil where you are eating from. So you have to find someone that you can trust, that in case you're being tempted or in case something is going wrong, you can confide in. You have your personal issues, you want to tell the person for advice. You know someone you can trust who would give you that advice. But if you go about, choosing anybody who, talks too much, it would really affect you. Yeah, it would really, really affect you. You tell your story to this person and they are telling the next person about it. Hey, this person said this and this and that and give to me for advice. No, you don't want that kind of person to mentor you. You need to have someone who is able to keep some secrets, because you don't want anybody, listening to any dirty secrets about you. But hey, that would be number 4. Now, number 5. This is where I think that makes a lot of difference in the kind of mentor you choose. But you need to find one who has serious network, who has connections. They make the whole mentoring thing worthwhile. You get it? You have to find someone who's ready to mention your name at that meeting. You need someone to recommend you to whoever they have to recommend you to. You need someone who's going to give you opportunities, someone who is going to link you up with the right people. You need someone to be mentioning your name in that meeting, someone who will be pushing for you, someone who has contacts to help you. You just call them, sir, please, or madam, please, I need someone to do this for me. Do you know anybody I can speak to? They say, call this person, call that person. Don't just pick any mentor who doesn't have, and he doesn't know anybody, he doesn't go anywhere. As for me, I don't like going out. I don't like outing, but then they can give you sound advice. You know those people, they don't go anywhere, they are Christians, they can give you sound advice, but they don't know anything, they don't have any contacts. Okay? You don't want that kind of mentor. So here's the secret. If you can find all of these things in one person, and you think that person A has these qualities, you make person A your mentor, but you don't tell them. You just observe them from afar. And who is that person that has the contacts? That's the person you can tell you want them to mentor you. But if that person doesn't have time, what do? You pick someone who can equally give you that kind of mentorship, but they're just not that power that person is. But you have someone who can also try for you, if it makes sense. Someone who is not there yet where you want them to be, but then they can equally do the job that this person is doing. They have some connections, or they are fine with the person at the top that you want, who can give you that connection, who can mention your name in a room full of opportunities. That's all that matters in the workspace. You get it? Now, this is why I said you may not necessarily need your boss to mentor you. In many companies, it is highly competitive, okay? So imagine my boss was mentoring me. You cannot outshine the master for the A-laws of power. You cannot outshine your master. Very few people, if we have to be honest with ourselves, very few people can allow someone who is beneath them to outshine them. See, it even rubs off wrongly on the manager or on your mentor if you outshine him whilst they are still working. But look, in the same company, if your boss mentors you and you start outshining them, it means that they are not performing. That's basically how it is translated. So imagine you go to a work, or you join a company and you get a mentor there, and your mentor is your immediate boss, and you start performing better than your mentor, do you know what can happen? They can actually change him. They can demote him and let you take over. That is what breeds unnecessary competition. You get it? An evil kind of competition, because he wants to, or whoever your bosses would want to now look good. Now it becomes an unhealthy environment because they feel like you're challenging them and all of that. It becomes unhealthy. Okay, or they'll be forced to have to now upgrade themselves and be doing extra. It will just be a toll on their mental health, because you go and everything, it's so obvious that your subordinate is doing better than you. You don't want that. No, you wouldn't even want that to be done to you, let alone you do it to someone else, or you do it to someone who has mentored you. That would be a problem. You get it? But if you have a better way around it, if you don't have a jealous boss or anybody, but as long as, in my opinion, as long as a person is human and the environment is competitive, there will be a tendency for that little jealousy to be brewed. And then if you don't take care, it grows into something that will not be pleasant. So we don't want that to happen. So you don't even engage them in the first place. You don't even look that direction. If you want a boss to mentor you, I'm sure there will be so many bosses in the company who will be equally capable of assisting you. And if you are a lady, or this advice goes to ladies, please do not lead your bosses on, or do not lead your mentor on just because you think your mentor is wealthy, or you think that someone should mentor you because they are wealthy. The goal should be that this is the plan that you have, and this is the person who will help you achieve that plan. When you go with a different or an evil mindset and you don't take care, you sort of you go in with a seductive, some seductive or manipulative tactic or something like that. You weave certain ideas into the person's mind, and it turns sexual and all of that. We don't want any of that. You want to be taken seriously. Okay? You want your mentor to take you seriously. So if you're a guy who's been mentored by a lady, it's the same thing. If you were a lady being mentored by a man, the rules apply the same way. You become serious with them. You don't call them at odd hours. You don't meet them at certain places you're not supposed to, if it is not something that would be beneficial to your career growth. You don't do that. Don't even entertain that in the first place. Find a nice way to turn it down. Okay, find a nice way to turn it down. Or maybe you have a meeting, or you're not feeling too well, or, just find a way. Oh, say, can't we do it this other time? But daylight, when there are people around or something like that. Yeah, that would be a better idea. But don't let the devil use you to tempt your mentor to bring them down. So I will close this video today. Thank you for watching. If you have enjoyed this video, just like, subscribe, share, follow all my accounts on Facebook, on Twitter. No, I'm not on Twitter. On Facebook, on Instagram, on TikTok, on YouTube. Yeah, you subscribe, you like, you share, comment. Put your comments in the comment section. That's what is needed. Engage me, right? Engage me, but let's be polite. Let's have some decorum there. So I will catch you guys same time. Why do I keep doing this to myself? I keep, saying same time, saying it, but no, not necessarily. But I'll catch you guys in the next video. Okay, I'll see you.